Yo, what is up guys? It is Bumfries, back with episode 88 of our Reddit series. This one's going to be a little bit of nuclear revenge, and I have a feeling you're gonna love this one. Haven't done this sub for a little while, but a bunch of you guys pretty much begged me for it, so if you do enjoy these or you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on the video, and if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. Now all you need to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy some nuclear revenge. Okay, so this one happened like a month ago. These two guys wouldn't leave me the F alone. I blocked them on Instagram, phone, and Snap. Despite this though, they kept trying to reach out to me, and the worst part was, when they reached out to me, they would say things that triggered my panic attacks and anxiety attacks. I've been recovering from an abusive relationship, and since the incident, I have unfortunately gone through some really bad anxiety that I'm trying to overcome rather than let control my life. A-holes like this just don't help. So it all started when this kid that we'll call E said I was hot. He tried to hit me up, but I went on a date with him and I wasn't interested. So him and his friend, who we'll call M, thinks it's hilarious to try and piss me off constantly, especially by constantly telling me that I'm fat, ugly, and that my ex didn't really abuse me, and so on. They just constantly found it super funny. They also do this to other people, even a girl on the edge of suicide. So pretty much, I ignore it and I'm still pleasant with them. I may be a girl, but I hate drama and wanted none of it. An important part of this story is that I played Xbox with their friend and they would forget I was in the party and start talking about people. This is how I learnt that he had someone that I used to be friends with nudes. He had showed multiple people the pictures and he even sent them to his best friend, who was E. Finally, I came to my senses. I realized the way I was being treated was unacceptable and I knew this guy would leak these girls' nudes, so I genuinely wanted to help her because stuff like that ruins people's futures. I anonymously warned her through a fake number. Later that day, I got a text from her boyfriend telling me that I needed to mind my own business, and this is why nobody at the school I used to go to likes me. At this point, I'm having an anxiety attack and freaking out. I'm hyperventilating and having a genuine panic attack. I'm feeling terrible because I genuinely feel like I did something wrong and I was putting myself down and feeling like crap. I felt like I offended them, so I started apologizing and trying to explain my thought process. Turns out, it was just them effing with me. I'm crying and crap for no reason. My anxiety turns into rage as I block this number. Note, I had them blocked through everything and they made a fake number because both E and M were blocked through all social media. Even frickin' TikTok. Well, funny thing, one is in possession of child porn, so I called the school and made sure it was known that his phone contained illegal images of minors, and the other, well, he likes to smoke a lot of weed, and unfortunately, he's under 21 and it's illegal in my state. Oops. I have no idea what happened to E, but I heard he was kicked off the lacrosse team and possibly getting a large fine. I hear the other one is on the sex offender list and possibly facing juvie time because he actually had lots of underage pictures. You know, I kind of forgot what nuclear revenge was, and I think it was defined as something where the punishment doesn't quite fit the crime. And in this case, I mean, yeah, they were pretty mean to her, but a bit of juvie time, that's definitely some nuclear revenge. Also, do people not get that just because somebody underage sends you a photo of themselves naked, it doesn't make it okay for you to keep it on your phone? They might do it, but you gotta get rid of that crap as soon as you can. It ain't okay, and as you can tell, it's hella illegal. About 20 years ago, I was a sales engineering support sales rep at Douchebag Tech Company. We'll call them DTC. A new sales manager joins the team, and he was a former co-worker from a prior job. A petty little man. Prior, we were peers. Now he was a manager over the sales reps that I supported. I had a separate chain of command, so he was not my manager, but felt that he should be. He was resentful of the power that sales engineers in this new company had. In an attempt to show me up, he chose a very large deal with a banking company, which we'll call ABC, and did so without any involvement from the sales engineers, just one sales rep. He gloats about it publicly, talks about how he didn't even need sales engineers, the whole 9 yards. Later, the manager calls me in a panic and we talk with the customer. The sales rep and the rep sales manager totally effed things up and sold the customer an incompatible set of solutions. I say that the customer could exchange one bit of stuff for another bit of stuff. Everything would work and they're roughly the same price, so no one would lose any money. But the sales manager doesn't want to do it because admitting he effed up would make him look bad. So he starts complaining at me for bringing up price because that's supposed to be the sales rep's job. He calls my boss and craps all over me. My boss took his side and craps all over me too. So I'm like, you know what? F you. I quit. I sent a very lengthy and detailed letter to HR explaining how the sales rep effed up, lied to the customer, and how the sales manager and my boss tried to make me the scapegoat instead of trying to fix it, which would have been easy and made everybody happy. So I move on, get a new job, and do other things. At some point, I'm chatting with an old friend from DTC, and he mentions that they effed up a huge deal that they spent a year on. I'm still bitter about the douchebag sales rep manager and my a-hole boss, so I post about it on a forum a bunch of investors use. The stocks of the company crashed $13 the next day. This will be important later on. So I find out that ABC is suing DTC for effing up the deal. The deal that the douchebag sales rep manager effed up and tried to pin on me. I reached out to ABC, sent them a copy of the letter I sent to HR in which I detailed precisely how badly DTC effed them over. I talked with one of their lawyers and he's very happy, especially the part in my letter where I describe how the sales rep lied to ABC. DTC subpoenas me for a deposition and I have to tell DTC's lawyers everything that I told ABC's lawyers, lawyer stuff. The day before the deposition, DTC sues me directly. Remember DTC's stock crashing? Well, they're suing me for badmouthing the company and attempting to short the stock, which I wasn't. However, there's a twist. Because DTC is suing me directly, I don't have to say crap to them at the deposition. Their preparation for the lawsuit goes completely out the window. They know they're effed because they read the letter that I sent to HR, but they don't know how effed they are because they don't know what else I know or what I've told ABC's lawyers. Additionally, because they never deposed me, they can't catch me contradicting myself between what I say at the deposition and at the trial. They are dumbfounded. No idea how they could have effed up this badly. Turns out there were two legal teams, one defending ABC's lawsuit and another trying to scare people away from talking crap about the company on the internet by indiscriminately suing their critics. Unfortunately for them, those two teams don't communicate with each other, and the one team didn't mention to the other team that they would be suing a key witness in their case. DTC settles the lawsuit with ABC and they drop the lawsuit against me. They then fire the sales rep, the sales manager, and his manager too. To be completely honest with you, I actually think these people deserved what they got. I mean, the whole cover-up thing at the beginning, rather than just fixing a customer issue, what kind of business does that, honestly? Like if I did that and intentionally screwed a customer over rather than just admitting I was wrong at my work, I would fully expect to have the exact same treatment as these people. Because quite frankly, that's not how you run a business, and if you think it is, then your business isn't going to last very long. For a bit of context, this was in an Eastern European country in the 90s. Alcohol addiction is crazy and still is, by the way. I've seen my fair share of alcohol-induced family drama, and this one I would qualify as nuclear revenge. Melis decided to ban all homemade alcohols, usually potatoes, corn or wheat based, and actually enforced it by going after producers. First-hand experience, everyone was doing it because you couldn't get any damn label without alcohol bottle as a tip at the end. There was a lonely old lady, maybe in her 80s, living by herself with no family. Lots of people in the village helped her with some meals, clothing, work in her garden, or repair her house. She tipped everyone with a little bottle of homemade alcohol, which was about 1/3 of a litre, as per some alcoholics saying she tried her best to have it good and even used some berries to make it taste something else. Anyway, some low-life crap denounced her to Melis. Only one a-hole came, and when he found her stash, like 10 litres or so, he beat her to a pulp, like a black and blue pulp. She was scary to look at weeks after the beat up. She never walked right again after this. Here, it's nowhere like in Western countries. Melis had all the power, and if you didn't lower your head or bribe, you could end up for months in jail somewhere or never even come back. It sucked. What happened next, I heard from some people that I trust. At the time, I was a kid. But long story short, the a-hole got jumped by some men from the village and they beat him really bad. He spent months in hospital. What makes it nuclear revenge is that they cut his ears and made him eat them. Not 100% sure about that eating part, by the way, but I actually met this guy a year later and he did have plastic ears. He also visited the old woman twice a month to help her with stuff. People in the village never got a Melis raid after this. If I'm being real, and not to be too not safe for work I suppose, but this dude just seems like an absolute idiot, to be completely honest. Seriously, whatever punishment he ended up with, he absolutely deserved. You don't just go into anyone's house, let alone an 80-year-old woman's, beat them up and think it's okay and then just get away with it. Kind of a shame he didn't get punished by way of the law, but I guess that's just how it is there. This happened about 2 years ago in college. I had just moved into a house off campus with 3 of my closest friends. There were 2 other college guys already living there. All of these guys were doing Air Force ROTC with me, which basically is where you go into the military after you graduate. I really liked all of my roommates and the house, except for one of the dudes that was already living there. He had a dog that would constantly rip up, piss, crap on the carpet, and he wouldn't clean it up. Furthermore, he would yell at us for leaving dirty dishes in the sink, etc., while he was the one making the vast majority of the mess. I had a job working about 30 hours a week and doing school full time and doing ROTC. I had a job as a server, so I would make quite a lot of tips, about $300 in a week. I would leave the cash in my room boxed up because I trusted everybody in the house. We were all going to join the military and integrity is a big thing. So I go to deposit my tips in the bank after not going for about a month, and I'm shocked when my cash deposit is only about $200 when I knew it had to be at least $1,200. At that point, I knew someone was stealing my tips, and it made sense because my deposit had seemed a little low for a while. I was furious because I was barely scraping by, working my ass off trying to pay for college. So, I buy a security camera for my room and I hide it. I get all the documents from my work regarding the tips I've made over the past few months, and I continue leaving my tips in the box unconcealed as bait. I don't tell any of my roommates this, and sure enough, I leave for a trip and I get a notification on my phone. I watch as this dude that I trusted steals about $300 in cash from me while taking only $20 bills so I wouldn't notice. Well, the next day back from the trip, I scheduled a meeting with our ROTC commander. I bring him all the evidence and video footage and tell him about my awful experiences with him in my house, and using my other roommates as witnesses. Long story short, he got kicked out of ROTC and ruined his career. He had to pay me back about $1,000 even though I let him off easy, and had to pay the military back about $9,000, keeping in mind that at this point he'd been getting paid by them for about a year. In addition, we go to an expensive school and he chose a useless major, so he is stacked high in student debt with no real way out. And finally, he had just quit his job because he thought he could get away with stealing from me and watch TV at home. And he had just crashed his dream car that he'd been working on for a while because he drives like an idiot. I still see him every so often on campus and just smile at him. You know what's kind of unusual, or I probably wouldn't say unusual, maybe more of a trend, is that all these revenge stories seem to involve some kind of illegal activity and people getting the payback for it. And you guys know me, I'm all for justice being served, especially when it comes to entitled parents or people doing the wrong thing by you. But what I love about these is that they make sure that they get their revenge in the best way possible. After reading out some of these, I have a feeling we might have a little bit more nuclear revenge soon. Alright everyone, that is that for today's episode of Nuclear Revenge. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I mentioned at the start, this is the first time I've done this in probably a good month and a half. A lot of you guys did ask for it though, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to let me know if you want to see more. Little side note, I'm going to see Avengers this weekend, so let's see how much of the movie you can spoil for me in the comments below before I go and see it on Saturday. No, I'm kidding, please don't spoil it for me, but for those of you that have seen it, make sure to let me know what you think. It looks really good and I'm really excited to see it, so let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Anyway, that's enough mucking around for one video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I did post a little bit more on Instagram recently. I got a photo up and I did a little story of the Post Malone concert I went to the other day, which was also awesome, by the way. Thank you everyone who asked. I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, like I said, follow me there and follow me on Twitter as well. Sometimes I do giveaways, sometimes I don't. You never know. You better follow me to find out, right? So yeah, let's wrap things up there. That will end today's video of Nuclear Revenge. I just want to say again, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another episode of Entitled Parents. Bye.